Yo, what up, party people? We're shooting some stuff for the end of the show. Then we're gonna Tetris it and put it on the beginning of the show.
3.
Hey, welcome back. Believe it or not, we are less than 50 days away from the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics in Italy, and Team USA is getting ready, including those in bobsled. NBC Savannah Sellers checked out their training facility in a pretty unexpected location. Take a look.
With the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics in February, 36-year-old Sylvia Hoffman, who took home bronze in Beijing, hopes to return to the ice.
This means so much. This is my Olympic medal. I've nicknamed it Bronzy. We met in China.
Sylvia is the brakewoman in bobsled, pushing with all her strength and is last to hop in.
Feel the rhythm.
There's also the job of braking at the end.
It's a huge responsibility. You are not just helping to get the sled off the block
Am I
and
jealous
down the
about
hill as
not
fast
doing the
as
story and
possible,
Savannah
but you're
getting to
also
do
the
it?
person
Yeah,
that
of
maintains
course.
the sled when a pilot is
So?
doing the track walks.
What is the communication like when you're shooting down a hill?
Honestly, it's like there's usually someone praying, which is usually the brakeman.
Yes, I'm going to be
I
at the
can
curling
attest to it.
venue.
You're just
I think.
visualizing as well. Where am I in the
gonna
track?
be in Cortina.
That's an uphill section. That's a downhill section. Okay, we're going to make this big corner.
Oh, I should. That'd be
Members
so
of Team
fun.
USA Bobsled
I'm
are
gonna
also
take on
training here at the
Savannah
Honda Automotive Laboratories
curling.
of Ohio, or HALO. Head coach Chris Fote says hundredths of a second can count when it comes to making the podium.
What does a facility like this
I don't know, but
mean
we're
for
going to
you
be
and
in
your team?
Cortina, and
It
I
is a
think that's
huge
where a lot of that good stuff
help
is
for
going to
us.
be.
We're a gravity sport.
Savannah and I are literally, we're going to be fighting each other to cover
we're
stuff
receiving
because
from
that's
it
my news sister.
will
Get out of there,
help us a lot
Savannah.
here.
You're the coolest story of the day.
This is where we test the bobsled. Wind actually comes in our
Oh,
face
come
here.
on. No, she's going to get in there.
Honda and the USA
Don't.
Bobsled skeleton team,
No.
Honda's wind tunnel lead, Mike Unger, and engineers
Don't do it.
analyze
Don't do it.
aerodynamics,
Don't do it.
aeroacoustics, and racing to research any improvements when using sleds that reach speeds of about 90 miles per hour in competition.
Working with the athletes to explain to them how to position their head and their bodies and their backs for optimum aerodynamic performance.
The sled doesn't move, but remembering how you face a wind tunnel could mean a faster slide to the finish. The idea is that the
gotta pay
athlete's
attention.
positioning affects speed.
In case I bobsled.
We walk the circuit that makes this simulation work.
I did not know we were going to see this.
What?
5 meters in diameter.
That's a that's a wind
6,700
turbine simulation for
horsepower electric
bobsledding?
motor spins that beast.
So the wind that I'm going to feel when I'm up there is generated here.
Yeah, it's propelled right here.
Wait, what do
This
you
is
mean
where the
I'm going to feel
acceleration
when I'm up there? Does
Above
she,
us
is she,
the
she's not
actual
going to do it, is
motor
she?
And the
Okay.
cooling
No,
unit to cool
they won't
the
let her.
motor.
This is safety.
Now it
This
was
is
time
a
to take the
safety
bobsled
concern.
for a
No,
test
come
run.
on.
Between Sylvia as
Oh,
her
she's
brakeman.
got the
Sylvia
suit.
told me all I need to do is pray.
No.
Yeah.
First, a 5-minute practice at 25 miles per hour, where engineers use smoke as a visual for the wind.
It feels like we're going down a mountain like a slow
That's
one.
probably Savannah
Then to the real
hiding her
thing,
head because she's
75
scared.
miles per hour.
Go ahead and lean forward. So come up till you feel
She's
my
going to go
hand
75 miles an
right
hour
there,
in a
but then you need to
bobsled?
drop your head like that.
Here we go.
No! Do not enter! Don't let her. Oh, this is 75-mile-an-hour wind. She hasn't done the actual thing yet.
The thing is that you didn't feel was the left and the right, and
Right.
then the pressures of pushing you down.
Okay. I forgot we weren't moving. Also, my back is freezing.
I forgot we were
Yeah, we got
moving.
first.
So you had a good back position. Your head was just a little bit high. I think with a little bit of position tuning, we could
Yeah,
get you
more
on the
practice,
team for the
Savannah.
Olympics.
More
So
practice, Sav.
That's all I need to do, right?
That's all you need to do.
We won this. We got to go.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a gold. We'll see about that. Savannah Sellers and myself, we might be bobsledding against each other in Cortina. You never know what's going to happen, Savannah. We'll see you out there. Finally tonight, a 4-year-old is living up to the spirit of Christmas by collecting toys for his dialysis friends, all after undergoing this dual transplant. And Braden Bates from our Kansas City, Missouri affiliate has more in your 60 seconds of joy.
Full of energy,
That's just your living room.
Beckham has the
little guy.
heart of a fighter and recently got a new liver and kidney to match.
Just a joy to be around, and I'm so thankful to be his mom.
In his first 4 years of life.
Dialysis was his normal.
And go boom, boom, boom.
Beckham was born with a condition called autosomal recessive polycystic kidney disease.
1,704 days Beckham was receiving dialysis treatments until
We got a call from the hospital that our miracle donor was here.
an anonymous 16-year-old became his hero.
Like this Christmas, it doesn't go unnoticed that as we're celebrating, we know there's another family mourning, and we can't tell them thank you enough.
Now back at home,
He said, "How many days do I have off?" And I said, "Buddy, you have your whole life, hopefully ahead of you, off."
This is a call for one of my friends that died.
Beckham's gathering presents for his buddies.
There's 22 children who spend the majority of their week on dialysis, and that's our goal, is to get every single one of them their top gift on their wish lists.
Reflecting on the kindness they were shown while spending countless holidays in the hospital.
When we're able and when our support system can help us, we want to give back.
Ah, the gift that keeps on giving. Wow, what an incredible holiday this will be. Braden Bates with KSHB, thank you so much. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Gotti Schwartz. We'll see you here back on Monday. But until then, stay tuned now. What up? Okay, there we go. All right, so you guys got to see the end of the show before the show even starts. That was, we pre-taped. Akshay, godson, God bless that kid. Love and prayers, yeah. And I mean, what a heart, right? Just immediately thinking to cheer up his friends in dialysis. That's amazing. Akshay, are you friends with our Akshay? Good evening, Matt. How's it going, Mr. Norman? Hello, SML. Norma, good to see you. Good to see everybody. We got TikTok fired up. We got YouTube fired up. Maybe someday they'll let me do Twitch, Kick, Rumble, X, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. All of this stuff. Then we can really have a party. But yeah, you guys are here in the, I mean, we're still kind of in beta. I don't know if no one else is doing this, but I love being able to chat with you guys in between commercial breaks. I love to chat with you guys during some of our pre-tapes. And I love to see what you guys think about the news most of all. Because there's a lot of takes on all the things that are going on in this world. And I sure as hell don't know what's happening. And so it's really nice to hear your guys' opinions, because I try to just be fluid and think, this is the best of times and maybe the worst of times, and the, age of wisdom and the age of, I think it's foolish, the whole thing. Maybe things are going to be great, maybe things are not, but we are here to get through it all together, so making room for as much optimism as possible. Do the cool thing and make, yes, Kate, yes, do that. Matt, yeah, us too. It is a day, that's for sure. And I think if it was any other day, we would lead with that, but it sounds like CENTCOM just announced that we have hit Syria with military strikes. So we are unpacking what's going on there. The president is saying this is in retaliation for the U.S. Service members that were killed in Syria. The Secretary of Defense or War, Pete Hegseth, he says that this is not war, this is retaliation. So we'll see what happens. But if you guys remember, the Syria thing has always been complicated, and it is maybe more so now, maybe less so now. There's a new president there after Assad was overthrown. And this new president was just at the White House in this kind of controversial visit. First Syrian head of state to visit the United States in a very, very long time. And at the time, he was promising to fight ISIS, to help stamp out ISIS. And he was one of the leaders of the overthrow of the Assad regime and ISIS as well. So a lot to discuss there. Weed, Patriot Games, Syria, also Venezuela, also Epstein, also 3i Atlas. There's so much stuff happening, right? But yeah, I hear you, Brick. Let's see. Lisa is back. Is Lisa around? Let's see, where is she? Usually Lisa hides right there. There she is. Hi, Lise. Okay, should we tell them about our secret code?
What's our secret code?
Our
Do I know the secret code?
I might sneeze. I might sneeze my face off today. Code.
Yeah, we're aware.
If you guys see me going like this, or if you guys see me going like this, that means I'm about to sneeze, and it's.
And we have to cut his mic so that you all don't have to hear this at home.
Yeah, because guys, I have, and I'm also gonna try to mute when I'm blowing my nose here. Ordinarily, I'm sure people are like, dude, why didn't you just call in? Do you know what kind of move it is to call in before the holidays and then make somebody else come in when they were spending time with their family? Like, that's what I'm up against. So we're just gonna power through this. We're gonna make it home. I'm gonna go have some pho after this, and then just, you know, get obviously a full night of sleep with my 2 little children who gave me this wonderful Christmas present. Yeah.
How did they do with their Christmas concerts? That's where me and Gotti were both off in and out with Christmas concerts.
Oh,
this week.
they did so good. Mr. Rio was like, I mean, he looked like Elvis. He looks like Elvis.
Elvis.
The Azure Fox. Get my resume to you. First of all, that's really awesome that you think that I have any pull over here, but yeah, send it. Gotti.schwartz@nbcu.com. Brick Roadie, fake news, show the sneeze. Stop hiding the sneezes. Brick, dude, I gotta say, I like your style, man. Like, you know, it's so funny. People are like, don't you get mad when people even say fake news? No, just be skeptical of everything, like critical thinking. That's what we do as journalists. We don't take what people say at face value. Like I'm gonna tell my kids the exact same thing. Show the sneeze. That should be our t-shirt. Anyway, let's see what else is going on here. Akshay, God bless, Merry Christmas. Yes, for sure. 90 seconds, oh man, I should probably read in here. Give me 2 seconds here. So 90 seconds means the mic is getting antsy. This is Big Mike right here.
Yep. We need Gotti in position.
But that means we need Gotti in position because we're about to do the news. If you're just tuning in and you're like, what the heck is this thing? This is Stay Tuned Now. This is the actual mainstream news. It's as mainstream as it gets. NBC News from Universal Studios, Hollywood. This part doesn't look mainstream, but trust me, it's mainstream. If you get on like Samsung or like any TV that has streaming, just open it up, NBC News, and then you will see the very polished version that we're about to do here. You won't see the behind the scenes, like the stuff that we're doing right here. You won't see the chats. You'll just be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a very serious news journalist. But among friends, we know what's up. 30 seconds. So we're gonna be starting with Gabe Gutierrez, it looks like, right? Wait, yeah? Let me just make sure I got this pulled up.
Staying at B.
Yep. We're starting with Gabe Gutierrez at the White House. Told you, mainstream. We've got people everywhere. 10 seconds. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this up, put this right here. You're going to see the actual show pop up right now. And here we go. Have a good show, everybody. Have a good show, Lisa.
4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Gotti Schwartz, and we are starting tonight with 2 massive stories that are developing as we speak. The United States has now carried out major strikes in Syria, with the president saying this is revenge for the deaths of 2 American soldiers and an interpreter killed in an attack there last week. And all that is happening, the DOJ is also starting to release thousands and thousands of documents tied to the investigations of Jeffrey Epstein. But let's start off with talking about these strikes in Syria. NBC News senior White House House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins us now. Gabe, what more do we know about the scope of these strikes?
Well, Gotti, this is a developing story, broke over the course of the afternoon and evening. And yes, as you mentioned, the president posting on social media saying that this was very serious retaliation. The Secretary of Defense also referring to this as not the beginning of a war, but rather the declaration of vengeance. That's according to Pete Hegseth. And President Trump right there posting on Truth Social, all terrorists who are evil enough to attack the United States, that basically the president referring that they will be hit harder than they would ever think of. And then you just see there Pete Hegseth saying this is not the beginning of the war, it is a declaration of vengeance. Now, the administration confirming the details of this, that they were just multiple strikes, dozens of strikes attacking multiple locations inside Syria. And as you mentioned, Gotti, this comes just days after ISIS took responsibility for an ambush-style attack that killed 2 National Guardsmen from Iowa. Now, the Secretary of Defense referring to this operation as Operation Hawkeye Strike. It's a reference to the 2 servicemen from Iowa that were killed. Now, the president had been vowing this retaliation for several days. Gotti, White House officials who I spoke with today view this as a promise kept. But right now, we don't have any indication of how many people may have been killed in any of these strikes. But again, the White House and the Trump administration wanting to make it very clear that any American that is attacked abroad will be met with this force, Gotti.
And as you were just mentioning, I mean, this is developing. We're getting notes. I'm sure you're getting notes. We just saw this one cross from our colleague, Courtney Kuby, and she's writing the strikes that the United States began conducting on Friday in Syria. They might last several weeks or up to a month. Do you know how soon we might be able to get a little bit more information from either the White House or the Pentagon in terms of what was hit and what the potential targets are here?
Well, look, all that information will trickle out over the coming days, and this happening overnight in Syria. Certainly, we hope to get more information as daylight comes up in that part of the world. But Courtney is right. This is an ongoing operation that administration officials say could potentially last weeks. But Gotti, what is very significant here, is, potentially significant, is what ISIS does in retaliation to this. And that is something that administration officials will be watching very closely and will dictate just how long this goes on for. Now, we should point out, Gotti, the new president in Syria, he was hosted here at the White House inside the Oval Office just several weeks ago. Now, he is a former jihadist who once supported Al-Qaeda. Now he is a U.S. ally, and President Trump has been stressing that he does not hold the Syrian government responsible for this attack, that the attack against American and partner forces happened in an area that is not controlled by the Syrian government. But Gotti, the stability of Syria is seen as extremely crucial for the future of American foreign policy in the Middle East. But again, this is a developing story, still awaiting for casualty assessments and to find out exactly how many targets were struck, although we do understand it is dozens of them all across Syria, Gotti.
Gabe Gutierrez at the White House. Gabe, thank you. And joining us now is NBC News military analyst Colonel Stephen Warren. Colonel, great to see you. Can we expect a response from ISIS here?
We shouldn't expect a response in the immediate future. Historically, when we strike ISIS like this, several things happen. Number one, of course, they are damaged and degraded. Number two, historically, ISIS then turns inward. They will believe that there were internal leaks or spies or something that tipped off the Americans as to where the various targets were located. So ISIS will go through this internal purge. When that's over, which could take days or even weeks, they will kill some of their own people who they think turned or became traitors, and then they'll settle down, and then, and only then, will they begin the process of deciding how to respond.
I do want to ask, and this might be nothing here, but some of the video that we were showing, it showed, the things that we normally expect in takeoffs. It looks like those are like the fighter jets that we're used to, F-18s most likely. But then at the end of this, and this is coming from CENTCOM, they show what look like warthogs, will look like A-10 warthogs maybe. That's not something that we normally see on these types of releases. And does that indicate that like this is pretty close, these launches are pretty close to the intended targets? And like warthogs get very, very close and very, very kinetic, right?
Warthogs get very close, they're very kinetic, and they also send Gotti a very strong message. When the F-16s or the F-18s or the F-15s and some, if not all of those jets were involved in tonight's operations, when those strike, it's from far away, moving very quickly. When the warthogs come in, America is there and means business. And so I think that's part of it, right? Some of it is the psychological dimension of the warthogs. Also, there are Apache helicopters involved in this operation, and also there is actual artillery involved in these operations. Now it's rocket artillery, but still. So it's a lot going on, but it's a combination of doing damage to our enemies, but also doing psychological damage to our enemies.
Yeah, it seems to be doing it in a very loud way. It also seems like so much has changed with Syria and the United States recently. Gabe was just talking about the new Syrian president. He visited the White House. It was a little controversial, but like one of the things that they talked about was this idea that there was going to be like a coalition now. We were going to work with them on stamping out ISIS. And does it look like that's going to happen? Is there going to be a lot of pressure on him to also pitch in on these types of skirmishes? And what does the United States footprint look like in Syria these days?
Our footprint is small and shrinking. A year ago, we had more than 2,000 soldiers in Syria. As of now, it's somewhere around 1,000. So our footprint is shrinking. That doesn't mean we don't have lots of capability still in the area, but in Syria, we have a smaller footprint. As far as the president of Syria, it sounds like he, and for obvious and I think very legitimate reasons, is no fan of ISIS. He may have been a jihadi, in fact, with Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda and ISIS don't get along. So I think he will be willing and trying to help continue to stamp out ISIS. There are a couple of problems. Obviously, he doesn't have much of a military force left over after 14 years of civil war there in Syria. He also doesn't have great intelligence. He's got a lot of challenges, is the bottom line. A lot of challenges, but I do believe that he will try to help. The biggest, I think, most important thing we have to realize is that there are somewhere between 20 and 40,000 ISIS prisoners in various prisons around Syria. It's key and critical that he maintain control of those prisoners, because if they get out, then we could be facing a different ballgame here.
Wow, 20 to 40,000. Colonel Steve Warren, always appreciate your insight. Thank you. Meanwhile, it is now the moment that so many people have been waiting for. The DOJ releasing several thousand documents from the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, our team is sifting through the mountain of evidence as we speak, but so far there are a lot of redacted photos that seem to be highly sexual in nature. There are photographs identified as child sex abuse material, and then there are more photos of his famous friends, like this one. This is Bill Clinton in a hot tub next to a person whose face has been redacted. We don't know when this was. We don't know who was blacked out or the context. But as for his ties to the current president, take a look at this. This is a picture. That is Jeffrey Epstein, and he seems to be holding a novelty check, maybe with Trump's signature there. The Trump check appears to be made out to him for $22,500. And in the wooden frame, it says, "Once in a blue moon." Again, we're missing a lot of context here. And keep in mind, another huge caveat, this is not everything. Even though the law legally mandated all of the Epstein files to be released today, here's what the Deputy Attorney General said this morning on Fox News.
So today is the 30 days, and I expect that we're going to release several 100,000 documents today, and those documents will come in all different forms, photographs and other materials associated with all of the investigations into Mr. Epstein. And so I expect that we're going to release more documents over the next couple of weeks. So today, several 100,000, and then over the next couple of weeks, I expect several 100,000 more.
Now let's go over to NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles, who's following all this for us. Ryan, I know this is a ton to go through, but so far, what are the big top lines here? Like, what have we seen?
Well, it's a lot of photos, Gotti, and a lot of photos of very famous men who we knew had interacted with Jeffrey Epstein in the past. These are the first time we've seen some of these images. There's a whole lot of pictures of Bill Clinton, who, of course, has repeatedly said that he had no interaction with Jeffrey Epstein in terms of his criminal activity. But we also saw pictures of the pop star Michael Jackson. There's a photo of the billionaire Richard Branson and also the rock star Mick Jagger. And then there are just hundreds of thousands of pages of court documents, of media clippings and different articles. But in its aggregate, there isn't all that much that is really revealing the kind of explosive information that I think many of the survivors and the victims of the Epstein controversy were looking for tonight.
Yeah, speaking of, like, what have we not seen, either because we haven't gotten to it yet or because it's redacted here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot that just is not showing up. And there are pages and pages of this material that are completely blacked out. And oftentimes in government documents that are released to the public, you'll see significant swaths of a page redacted. In some cases, there are entire PDFs in which the entire page of the PDF, each page of that PDF, is just a big black box. And so that's already raising questions from the members of Congress that demanded that this information be released. They want to know what is in those redactions, or at the very least, why the Department of Justice chose to redact that material. They've just provided very broad lines as to why they chose to redact certain things and not redact other things. So there's going to be a lot of questions from members of Congress as to how that decision process came to be, and whether or not some of that stuff can actually be made public in the spirit of the law.
And Ryan, these Clinton pictures, I mean, we see people's face blurred. We know that the DOJ had specific instructions only to redact victims or minors. We also know that there was talk about having the Clintons come testify in person about some of all this before Congress. What is the latest on that?
So as it stands in terms of the congressional investigation, which is separate from this release of information from the Department of Justice, the House Oversight Committee did postpone the deposition that was supposed to take place this week. It's now scheduled to take place in early January. The Clintons have said that they do not believe that they are relevant witnesses in this investigation, that they knew nothing of Epstein's crimes, and that they should not be forced to answer these questions. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee disagree. They still believe that both Bill and Hillary Clinton should come in and be deposed, and that is scheduled for early January. Whether or not they show and run the risk of being in contempt of Congress is still an open question. But in a statement tonight, a Clinton spokesperson reiterated the fact that Clinton had nothing to do with Epstein and his crimes, and said that this is basically an attempt by the Trump administration to detract from the fact that they're not being fully transparent with the Epstein files.
As for the fact that this is not everything, and we know that it's not everything, despite that deadline being written into law, what are lawmakers saying about that?
Well, there are some, Gotti, that are outright saying that the Department of Justice is breaking the law. There are a number of aspects to this release that Congress specifically said needed to happen by midnight on Friday. First of all, they were explicit that everything had to be released by today. The Department of Justice already saying that it could take 2 weeks for this information to roll out. There was also a specific search function that had to be available to anyone that used the material. That initially didn't work. It does appear to be working on some level now. But Ro Khanna, who's one of the 2 members of Congress who pushed to have the law passed that required the Department of Justice to release this information, is raising serious questions as to whether or not there needs to be repercussions for how the Department of Justice is handling this. Take a listen.
What I'm calling for in terms of a constructive next step is for Todd Blanche or Pam Bondi to get in front of the country, to share the timeline for the full release, to share the explanations of the redactions, and to let the country know what they can expect. They have not been transparent, and that's why that's people's biggest concern on this, that they're hiding things.
And so whether or not that leads to Bondi or Blanche coming before Congress remains an open question. Keep in mind that Republicans still control the House. They are the only ones that have the ability to issue a subpoena to force Blanche or Bondi to appear in front of one of these committees and answer these questions. So both Khanna and Massey, Tom Massey, who's the Republican who helped author that bill, said today that they do not believe the Department of Justice is complying with the release that we saw here tonight, Gotti.
Interesting. The questions aren't going anywhere. Ryan Nobles, thank you. And let's go to NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris. Misty, we know that this is not everything. Is the DOJ in violation of the law here? And like the DOJ, aren't they the arm that's in charge of enforcing the law in the United States?
Yes, and that is the conundrum with trying to point out if there is noncompliance and what is the relief in order to change that. So, Gotti, the law does have a loophole in it. There are several exceptions that were written into the law. One, very typical, that any information relating to victims, non-public identifiable information to protect the victims would be redacted and would not be made public. Of course, that makes perfect sense. That's in general how any type of court filings that become public would be. Now, the second is a much broader loophole in the law, and it's that the DOJ does not have to turn over information that could impact a current investigation. We know that Pam Bondi had announced earlier this in the fall that there was an open investigation into Epstein and some connections to some in the Democratic Party, several specific people. So that is an open investigation. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that there's some discretion on the part of Pam Bondi and the DOJ as to what is actually released. And that's where you're seeing this pushback of a justification for these redactions or identifying what might have been held back.
Interesting. And I know you, just like everybody else, have been trying to wrap your whole mind around everything that's been released so far. Anything stick out to you for potential criminality that seems obvious here?
So I've been working through the documents, Gotti, just with the entire team. And, you know, there's a lot of high profile names. There's a lot of photographs of high profile individuals that are in this document dump that we have not seen before publicly. That being said, just because there's an affiliation with Epstein doesn't mean there's any criminality. So what I've been really focusing on is the documents relating to FBI investigations and what's called 302 material. These are the documents that memorialize witness interviews when the FBI is interviewing a witness or a victim. And in that, there's nothing of note right now, but that is the type of material that if there were to be an identification of a potential co-conspirator in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation, that could be something that could potentially lead to additional charges. I haven't seen anything on that end yet, but that's part of the reason for the public disclosure of these documents, to identify those who might have been involved in the crimes.
And we will continue to delve into all of these files and really appreciate your analysis. Misty Maris, thank you so much. And now to some stunning new details in both the Brown University and the MIT shootings and the Reddit poster who helped break the case. The Rhode Island Attorney General telling NBC News that a Redditor referenced as John was the same guy that was spotted in surveillance video at the same time as the suspect appearing in that blue circle in the footage released by investigators. You can see John also on your screen appearing in a red circle right over there. According to the affidavit, John posted on Reddit, writing in part, quote, "The police need to look into a gray Nissan with Florida plates, possibly a rental." John later telling investigators that he was near the suspect several times at Brown University on the day of the shooting, at one point even confronting him. 2 students were killed, 9 others were hurt in that shooting, and the suspect also killing an MIT professor in Massachusetts just days later. The suspect and the professor apparently both studied engineering at the same school in Portugal at the same time, and the manhunt went on for days with basically no leads until that big break yesterday. Thank goodness for that Redditor. That led officials to find the suspect at a storage facility in New Hampshire where he had taken his own life. Just in the last hour, federal law enforcement agencies say they are now matching the firearms found with the suspect at both the MIT shootings and the Brown University killing. Aaron McLaughlin has us.
Hey there, Gotti. Officials here in Rhode Island say that they believe Claudio Valenti died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound on December 16th, the day after he shot and killed the MIT professor. Officials here also telling me that they believe that he meticulously planned this attack, not only covering his face, but using 2 license plates, using 2 guns. Take a listen to what the Attorney General had to say earlier today.
He was not using traditional cell phone service. He was using voice over internet protocols. He was really using Wi-Fi, at unsecured Wi-Fi to access data. He was not using traditional credit cards, which is how, sometimes law enforcement can follow people's movements. None of these are secret techniques.
Authorities tell me critical to cracking this case, a man known only as John. According to court documents, John was inside the building when he encountered Valenti and followed Valenti in the hours prior to the attack out of the building. At one point, they passed Valenti's rented Nissan car. His key fob set off the lights, alerting John to the fact that that was his car. Surveillance footage shows John chasing Valenti. Valenti later reported all of this to authorities after they appealed to the public for him to come forward. Officials here telling me that being able to tie the car from Brown to the attack in Massachusetts was absolutely critical in solving this case. Meanwhile, questions remain as to motive. While they believe that Valenti had a personal connection to the MIT professor, authorities here tell me that while he was connected to Brown, at one point was enrolled as a physics student here decades ago, they do not know why he would attack a classroom full of students he likely never met. Gotti.
Hopefully we'll get some answers. Aaron McLaughlin, thank you so much. And don't go anywhere. Up next, late developments coming in over the murder of Rob and Michelle Reiner. Nick Reiner's new medical revelations and the medications he might have been taking. And later this hour, in the future of everything, how more people are experimenting with AI in the kitchen. What could go wrong? That's coming up, so stay tuned.
2 minutes.
All right. So back to what we were talking about before, and I don't remember what we were talking about before, but are you guys using AI in the kitchen this holiday? Maybe you shouldn't. How do we get the money for the reward, right? Like Redditor with the win. That is awesome. But it is crazy that he was able to follow him and he was giving him, like, I don't know, the creeps enough to know that something was up. Let's see. Cool behind the scenes and no. Okay. No. Oh, are you guys talking about AI in the, yeah, right? Come on. Let's let our loved ones, use the recipes that we always love. And that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take too. That one is interesting as well. And yes, honestly, like I really, really love seeing what you guys think about all this stuff. Where's my, there we go. Yeah, we're trying to get you guys as much as we can get confirmed as quickly as possible. And I know it takes a long time sometimes, but sometimes you guys are way ahead of us on everything. I just called the Butterball hotline. No, you didn't, Silent Texan. Did you really? Like, you didn't even look it up on Google. You called them and you're like, hey, I need some help. This turkey is not even close. Silent Texan, please, full account of everything that happened. It's way more interesting than the news.
30.
Yes, interesting. I didn't know that. I love this mug. I don't want to update this mug, nor do I want to wash it. Heritage, this is up.
15.
You're awesome.
Position B.
Okay, here we go.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, welcome back. Here are some of the other headlines that we are watching tonight. At least 3 are dead and 9 others hurt after an attack in Taiwan's capital. Now, this man randomly attacked crowds with a knife at a popular shopping district and threw smoke grenades at a busy subway station. One man was fatally stabbed after trying to stop the suspect at the station's exit. The suspect later died after jumping from a department store building during a police chase. And there have been new developments in the murders of Rob and Michelle Reiner. 3 sources are now telling NBC News that Nick Reiner was diagnosed some years ago with schizophrenia, and he was being treated with medication at the time of his parents' murders. They say his medication might have been changed or adjusted before the murders, but did not give a more specific time frame. Now, all this comes as a sealed medical order was signed today by a judge in Nick Reiner's prosecution. And a Michigan police officer is being hailed as a hero after this video. He's rescuing a choking 1-year-old baby found unresponsive by his mom. That body cam footage shows the officer saving that little life just moments after getting to the home. The little one, named Roman, started breathing again before paramedics even arrived. He's expected to make a full recovery. And President Donald Trump's media company, it is making an unexpected move into nuclear fusion. Trump Media, the parent company of Truth Social, announced its merger with the nuclear fusion company, and some lawmakers are raising questions about conflict of interest. The company today says the partnership is focused on, quote, the future of energy development. And after giving us George Santos, the iconic Oompa Loompa sketches, as one of Saturday Night Live's biggest breakout stars, Bowen Yang is reportedly leaving the show in the middle of his 8th season. His final episode is going to be this Saturday, which is being hosted by his Wicked co-star Ariana Grande and Cher as a musical guest. And coming up, holiday travel kicking off to a rocky start with severe weather sweeping across the country, while officials in one state are warning of a historic fire danger. That's next, so stay tuned.
2 minutes.
Okay, what were we talking about? What were you guys talking about? Let me see. All right. Let's see. You should give your TikTok audience a shout out on national television. No, because then more people will watch over here, and we want to keep it small and just us. Don't tell people. This is our thing. We don't want that smoke. Let's see. What else? Interesting. I would like that too. You just came back from the commercial break. There's no commercial break. It's just us. You guys know, unless you're watching the show and also watching the stream. That's a pro move. All right, we're over here.
1 minute.
1 minute. Look who we got on the Ronin today. This is Mao. Look at those guns. That's the gun show. All right, here we go. Coming up here. We're going weather, and then what's after weather, Lisa?
Stephanie Goss piece on farmers fighting over data centers.
Okay. Yep. Okay. My right. Okay. Got it. 20 seconds. All right. Time is flying. It's 5:29 already.
10. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, welcome back. Severe storms are sweeping across the country from coast to coast. They're threatening to disrupt people's plans for the holidays. And out in Colorado, officials are warning of a historic fire danger. They're urging people to stay home if they can as powerful winds kick up dust, covering the roads out there. And the FAA grounded all flights at Denver International Airport this morning with more than 1,000 delays so far today. And out in Wyoming, this was the scene, the aftermath, where wind flipped the truck completely upside down. And in Connecticut, officials say the wind caused a building to collapse. This building, over 70 million people right now are under wind alerts on the East Coast. All this as a record number of people prepare to travel between now and the new year. NBC's Emily Akeda is in Newark with the latest. Emily?
Hey, Gotti. Well, the start to the holiday rush getting off to a bit of a bumpy start with some of the severe weather impacting pockets of the country, including the Northeast. Strong wind gusts, torrential rain, even some flooding. We've been watching ground delays and ground stops impact major hubs throughout the region, including here at Newark. Flight cancellations and delays are approaching 10,000 tonight, with some gusts topping 50 miles an hour in the region, strong enough to topple trees onto power lines, even to knock down parts of an old building in Connecticut. It's all coming as some 52 million people are planning to fly over the next couple of weeks to reach their holiday destination. Airlines for America says nearly 3 million people will be heading to the airport every day, with some of the busiest travel days at airports today through this weekend, plus the day after Christmas and the Sunday after Christmas as well. Now, we know that a lot of people are trying to trade in their white Christmas for some fun in the sun. 4 of the top 10 most popular travel destinations for this time of year, according to AAA, fall in Florida. So we talked to Tampa International about what they are preparing to do for the surge of those travelers. Take a listen.
We are making sure that people can get through our airport very quickly, very efficiently. So that means on our automated people mover systems, we have more train cars that we put on that to accommodate more people. We make sure that we are connecting and coordinating with our food and beverage vendors to make sure that their meal options and they're staffed up appropriately so we don't have long lines.
Now, we know that the vast majority of people will be getting behind the wheel, hitting the road to reach their holiday travel destination, with more than 120 million people, according to AAA, a record number, leaving town for the holidays. AAA says that you can expect to see some of that congestion on the roadways really pick up this weekend, and your trip time could more than double near some major cities like Boston and D.C. Gotti?
Emily Akeda, thank you so much. And turning now to this battle going on between farmers and power companies over the AI boom. It all centers around new plans to use farmland for new power lines to run AI data centers. Some farmers say that could threaten their livelihoods. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has this one.
Gaver Farm in Maryland is ready for the holidays.
We give them a saw, we give them a tree cart, they find their perfect tree.
That's a great farm.
The Christmas trees are pruned, the chocolate fudge displayed. But Lisa Gaver, a 7th-generation farmer, is struggling to enjoy the season.
You're in a fight.
We are in a fight.
What do you think your chances are of winning it?
I don't know. It's going to be a long road hoe.
The fight is over proposed high-voltage power lines that would cut right through this 40-acre Christmas tree field.
One of the proposed towers is scheduled to be like right here where this tractor's sitting.
Gaver is part of a group of Maryland landowners battling the proposed 67-mile line that would cross 3 counties to deliver power from Pennsylvania to Northern Virginia, an area where data center growth has exploded because of AI, and with it, the demand for electricity.
Incredible.
All of that computer processing needs power.
People come here to this farm for this, the view, the trees, the apples, to, as they say, touch grass. Lisa Gaver worries that having these running through her farm will not only interfere with the crops, they will drive the people away.
In a statement, the utility company says the lines are necessary to power data centers in both Virginia and Maryland, as well as strengthen the power grid. Farmers in Maryland tried to block surveyors from coming onto their property. The power companies sued to gain access and won. Now the company is threatening to use eminent domain, which gives the government authority to acquire private property for public use to go forward with the project. The battle playing out in similar ways all over the country.
Suddenly, we need a lot of power, and we weren't planning to have to build that much.
There are multiple regions where new data centers are creating a surge in power demand.
Do we have the kind of power infrastructure in place right now in this country to be able to supply enough power to the AI industry?
We don't really at this point. We're having to get very creative.
At Gaver Farm, the power company just left notice that its surveyors would be there soon.
They could show up anytime. This is going into our busiest tree season. We're just honest and good, hardworking farmers that didn't ask for this.
Tonight, Lisa Gaver vowing to keep farming and fighting. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Mount Airy, Maryland.
Stephanie, thank you for that. Reminder of where our Christmas trees come from. And still to come in the future of everything, Professor Avi Loeb, the one and only, is back talking all things 3i Atlas with some new clues today to the age-old question, are we alone in this universe?
Clark.
Nice. Is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah. D and E on tape.
Knock has the rest? All right. That's it. That's the show. Oh, Kate, I want to believe too. Specials is what? Okay. Wait, you have to say that in front of everybody so they know that we're talking.
I have to say it in front of everybody?
Tell the world.
Okay. I have to tell the world.
It's rude to exclude the chat.
It is rude to exclude the chat. The backup anchor is running late. So they're asking if you can hang around for a couple minutes in case.
So you and everybody are leaving, and then I am just.
I mean, I'll hang out with you if you want me to hang out with you guys. I'm fine with that.
No, it's okay. Go tell the boys I said hi. Yes, I will hold down the fort. I will hold down the fort gladly.
The crew's gonna be here. Adam, they can look. They'll chat with you.
We'll hang. What up, Adam?
We'll hang
Hi.
out together. It's like it's fine. It's fine. You know.
Hi. Man, all right. So just to give you guys a heads up as to what's going on. This is the behind the scenes. We have passed the show on to the knock. That means that, if you tuned in at the tippity top before our show started at 4:45 here on the West Coast, you probably saw us shooting some stuff with Avi Loeb and some other stuff. That was actually the end of the show. Now we're doing this Tetris thing where that is going to play on the television.
Oh wait,
right,
can we
bye,
tell?
Mark,
We
bye,
gotta tell the
everybody.
chat about. Okay, this guy right here. He's
No,
got a
get
big
him
old
outta here, you
promotion. This is
traitor.
Mark. He's heading to work with the desk and the news gathering, and is going to be out in the field with reporters and everything, doing God's work out there. This was his last show with us.
Mark, I love you so much, and I'm so sad about this, but I know that you and I will be having some adventures out in the field very soon.
We
So,
want to get you in the field with Gotti.
congrats!
That's the
Everybody's
test.
like, congratulations!
Congratulations, Mark.
Aww. All right. Okay, Lise. Yeah, feel free to go. I'll just hang with the chat. Bye. Okay, so if you're tuning in and you're like, what the heck is this stream? Let me tell you. This is NBC News. We are serious journalists, I promise. You guys just get to see the behind the scenes, and you can see that this whole show is put together by a lot of different people. A lot of times when you're watching the news, you just see like this anchor man sitting there talking really seriously and, just never showing you that there's a lot of work that goes into this, that there is some thoughtful, probing of, questions and research that happens before the show. And then there's the graphics, and then there's the studio crew, and all of it comes together. And that's something that we do every single day, and I love doing it. And I wish more people saw all of it, all of the stuff that goes into the show. But we're starting very slowly. We're showing you as much as we can. And right now that is from 5 to 6 for the time being. We're going to do this behind the scenes look. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on, hold on, let me pull it up on TikTok. This is TikTok. And I sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I can read the comments as we're in the middle of the segments. And many times, as you guys have seen, if you guys have been watching, like if you guys have a really good question about the constitutionality of something or whatever, and we've got a constitutional lawyer right here, boom, from your typing to my lips to the public's ears, we will get those questions answered for you. So that's the idea here. And I love it. And it's already amazing, and I really appreciate this little community that we've got going. But yeah, it's gonna be the behind the scenes, and if you're wondering like, well, where are you guys? Are you guys in New York? No, I'm in Los Angeles. Lisa that you just saw, she's in New York at 30 Rock. But this is NBC News from LA, which is on the Universal Studios lot. And because we're the latest, it's 3 hours behind New York, we're the latest show on the NBC network. So a lot of times you'll see the breaking news develop right here. And then you also got this West Coast vibe that I'm loving. I don't like dressing up, and I like wearing soft pants, and that's what we do on the West Coast. So you're gonna see a lot more relaxed like format. Sorry, some people don't like it. I think a lot of people do like it, and if they don't, they will when they put stretchy pants on too. So we'll see, but yeah, the idea here is the news, but maybe a little bit more chill. Say hello to Stacy. Wait, no way. Wait, Stacy, which Stacy? Stacy? Like the main Stacy? SML, NBC News special report next? No, I don't think so. I hope not. Right now, we are prepped. What happens is when there's a handoff right now and the next anchor that's coming in, we always have to have somebody kind of at the helm just in case something goes haywire, and then we're able to, boom, read in and then quickly disseminate the news as fast as possible. Stacy. No, Gotti. Okay, so you're not Stacy. There is a very big Stacy boss here. So, but I'm sure you're a boss as well, Stacy. All right, let's see what else is saying. This is elite. You're elite, Leanne with Swan. Hello, Faye darling. What else? Hard times. Come on, Stevane. Oh, stop it. Best boss I know. I hope that's what my kids say. Anyway, so I think I'm going to sign off because, you know, we're done with the news and we don't want to bore you. But actually, you guys want to see my office real fast? We'll walk there together. I'll give you guys a tour since we're still on the clock. Let me log out from this computer. Boom, boom. Goodbye, studio, for now. Not sure if we're gonna need to be back here tonight, but let's hope not. This is Artemo. Artemo is a robot camera, but as you see, I prefer the Ronin camera, which Mal was on today. The robot cameras, they scare me. Hence this sign. Okay, so here we go. This is the NBC. Oh, dude, there's Mike. Wait, hold on. Can you stand next to me and just tell people how tall you are so they don't think that I'm super short?
6'3", Gotti.
6'3".
Gotti's pretty tall, yeah.
Yeah, I am tall.
5'10" at least.
Until I'm next to 5'10".
Or 6 foot.
Of 6'2". It's just an inch difference.
5'11".
5'11". That's this is men over here. Wait, over here.
I need to get out of here before I get to work.
All right, we'll see you guys. All right, and then this is my cave office, and this is my favorite part. All of this. Ooh, look at this. I don't know if you guys have kids at home, but my daughter is 4, and if we throw anything in the trash that is her art, she like digs it out, and she gets really, really hurt about it, and she's like, "Oh, what? how did this get in the trash? And then we're like, I don't know how that got in the trash. That is a very, very good question. And so she has a museum at my office that she likes to work on. And then this is her little easel down here. So yeah. That's how it goes. Kids know, I remember your office. I saw it on a TikTok live. Yeah, that was back when we were experimenting before we were gonna do this. We've got other plans too, so I'm hoping to like expand that out even more. But yeah, you guys we're literally beta testing all this stuff. Yeah, we did that. It worked pretty well, and now we're doing this. So hopefully you guys don't mind getting your news and getting a little bit of this as well. Anyway, I gotta go. Asta, have a wonderful weekend. If we don't see you on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday because you guys are with your family, blessings to everybody and merriest of holidays. My daughters are 19 and 22. Don't say that. Oh, yeah, time is flying. But have a good night, everybody. We'll see ya.